Once upon a time, deep inside a beautiful forest, there lived a handsome stag. His coat was glossy brown, his eyes shone like jewels, and his large antlers looked like the branches of a grand old tree. The stag was very proud of his appearance, especially his antlers. Every morning, when the sun rose above the trees, he would go to a nearby pond to admire himself in the water. He would stare at his reflection and say proudly, "Oh, how beautiful these antlers are! They make me look like a king of the forest." But as his eyes went down, he would see his thin legs and frown. "What an ugly sight," he would complain. "These legs are so long and thin. They spoil my beauty. I wish I could have strong and thick legs like the buffalo." The stag spent many days like this, admiring his horns and hating his legs. He did not realize that pride and foolishness often walk together. One hot afternoon, while the stag was drinking water at the pond, he suddenly heard the sound of barking dogs. They were hunters' hounds. In no time, the sound grew louder and louder. The stag understood that danger was near. He looked around and saw the hunters coming with their bows and arrows. Frightened, he jumped and ran as fast as he could. His thin legs moved swiftly, carrying him far away from the hunters. The dogs barked behind him, but they could not catch up. The stag felt grateful for his speed. "Ah," he thought, "these legs that I always hated are now saving my life." But fate was not yet done with him. As he ran deeper into the forest, his beautiful antlers got stuck in the branches of a tree. He tried hard to pull himself free, but the harder he struggled, the more tightly the branches held him. Panic filled his heart. He could hear the hunters and dogs getting closer and closer. "Oh, what a fool I have been," he cried. "I was proud of these antlers, but they are the reason I am trapped. And I hated my legs, though they were my real strength. How foolish I was to value beauty more than usefulness." The hunters reached the spot. The poor stag made one last desperate attempt to free himself, but it was too late. The hunters shot their arrows, and the stag fell to the ground. Before taking his last breath, he whispered sadly, "My pride has destroyed me. I should have been thankful for what I had." When the hunters carried him away, the forest fell silent again. The pond's calm water reflected the sky, as if keeping the stag's last image alive forever, a reminder of his foolishness. Days later, other animals in the forest talked about the stag's story. The wise old owl said, "Let this be a lesson to everyone. What looks beautiful is not always useful, and what seems small or weak may be our greatest strength." The animals nodded in agreement. From that day, they learned to be proud of what nature had given them, and not to look down upon themselves. Moral of the story: pride leads to downfall. Be thankful for what you have, because everything has its own importance.